Hello, Dad. This is Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey podcast, and today's topic is this: the Punies podcast with Kobe Bryant. Let's do it.
Hi, my name's Niko, and you're listening to my dad, Jay Warren. This is the Dadhood Journey podcast. Thanks for listening.
Yep. All right, so this is a new podcast that I just got turned on to. I found it in iTunes. It was at the top of the kids and family category, and partly because it's got Kobe Bryant attached to it, and that's actually what caught my eye as well, because I'm a huge Lakers fan and have been my entire life. My grandma turned me on to being a Lakers fan way back in the 80s with Magic Johnson and Kareem and that whole world. And, of course, the Shaq Kobe years were really awesome for us. And it's been quite dry the last couple years. But unless if you've been living under a rock or you don't care at all about basketball or about sports, you know that LeBron is now a Laker, and that season is starting up next month, and that's going to be absolutely epic. As a Lakers fan, I'm just beside myself. But this isn't about the Lakers. This is about kids podcast. So let me get back on track. So Kobe Bryant, for some reason, affiliated with this. It's a stories podcast for kids called the Punies. And the initial intro episode was Kobe Bryant talking about this show, the Punies, and all the different characters and what it's about and everything. It's about a group of kids called the Good Old Gang, or the GOGs as they're known. And he introduces all the characters, and they all basically are getting together and playing sports together, and different things happen in sports that are, good for kids to learn about teamwork and being a good loser and being a good winner and pressure and performing and all those kind of things. So it's a really great concept of things. And I actually thought it was going to be stories told, maybe not written by, but told by Kobe, and it's not at all. So I don't know if he's like funding it or if it was idea or his name's just attached to it. I have no idea. Maybe he just did the intro, but the Punies is good. So the Punies is the group, and Niko really likes it. I would say in my first criticism of it, it has a little bit of negative talk amongst the kids, kind of belittling each other every once in a while. There's all the typical archetypes. There's the show-off. There's like the stud player that's good at everything. There's the analytical kind of nerdy character that's trying to analyze all the plays. There's the kind of goof off, head in the clouds kid. There's the younger, smaller, I don't know how to play sports kid, and it's all about them like getting along and winning games and losing games and all that kind of stuff. So I was attracted to it because it was about, well, one, it was about kids, and two, yes, Kobe's affiliated with it. But it was about like sports stories, and as Niko's starting to get into like soccer and playing sports with other kids, I think it's good to hear stories about what other kids go through, even though this is fictional, so that he can kind of have a story run of what he might go through, like being on a team and all that's involved and what might come up. So far so good. I've only listened to 3 or 4 episodes since it launched a couple weeks ago. It's coming out, a new episode comes out every Saturday morning, so it's almost kind of like retro Saturday morning cartoons type of thing, where a new adventure is on Saturday morning. So I know for me, I just have it downloaded into my phone, and we'll listen to it whenever we have time in the in the car. But so far, like, Niko really likes it. He's been asking for it to see if there's a new Punies that's out. And we haven't talked much about it yet, about things that have come up. But I know that as he's going to be starting kind of a Pee-wee soccer league in a couple weeks, more and more things like that are going to come up. So if your kid's into sports or you're wanting your kid to be into sports more, I think this might be a good resource to check out. It's called the Punies. You can find it wherever you listen to your podcast, wherever you're listening to this one, just search for it. I'm really excited. This is probably another episode to do, but I'm really excited for Niko to get involved in sports, because I know for me, I learned a lot by being a part of teams, by playing sports, and I want him to have those same experiences. I'm not the type of dad that's going to force him to do sports if he's not into it. From what I've seen so far, he's athletic and he likes things like that, but I'm not going to be one that just forces him just because that was something that I like to do it. I hope he does, because I think I would enjoy doing that with him, and I think he'd get a lot out of it. But I know for me, there's so many life lessons that I got from being a part of team about, working with other kids. I typically played team sports. I didn't do individual sports like tennis or I don't know, golf wasn't a thing growing up. It was all like soccer, basketball, baseball, played a little bit of football. Volleyball was big for me in junior high and high school, and then into college. So you learn all kinds of things about working with other people, like not being the strongest one on the team, trying to work with the kid that's kind of the worst one on the team, and not being sour towards them. You have winning seasons, which are really fun, and you learn not to be a gloat and be a good sport. And you have losing seasons where you have to learn how to be a good sport and not to be a spoil sport, those kind of things. Obviously working on skills and hand-eye coordination, and there's things of performing under pressure, because your at bat might be like crucial to winning or losing a game, or you might have a really bad game where you just like miss every shot, and that's frustrating, and how do you handle that? And you might have just a stellar match or a stellar season where you're kind of spotlighted, and that's really fun, but could also like go to your head, and how do you handle all those ego things? So that's just starting for Niko and for me as his dad. So it'll be interesting to kind of help him navigate it if he does jump into that world. And I think this podcast, The Punies, is kind of a taste of what those experiences can be like. So he's hearing stories about it, and we'll see if it piques his interest to do more sports, and if he keeps liking the podcast. So let me know what you think about the Punies. Check it out if you haven't already. And until the next time, take good care of yourself, take good care of your families, and we'll connect on the next episode.
I hope you enjoyed that episode. You can hang out with other dads in our Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for the Dadhood Journey, and apply to get in. See you there, and see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Perfect.
Here we go, Dan.